Look at this little sucker. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 88 silver sedan. The goal is to drop the fuel tank out of the car, and originally I was going to start doing the rear diff, but then I thought about it. I was like, if I install the rear diff with the axles, I'd have to remodify my exhaust system, and I wasn't planning on doing that until we get to the dyno, get the car tuned, and then we'll start altering the exhaust system for the all-wheel drive system. So I kind of debated on doing maybe the fuel cell today or in this video, because it is a little bit later in the evening here. I did spend some time to pressure wash the carpet, clean it all up, and we set up the tote for some hot water and some RIT dye for some charcoal gray, hoping that the carpet, which is currently soaking over there, to soak up enough of the chemicals to drown the blue out. I know the blue is kind of navy, it's already dark, and I'm shooting for a light gray. I don't think that's gonna work, but as long as the carpet is a little bit darker than the blue, I think it'll blend with the interior, which is gray, just ever so slightly. I'd rather have a black carpet with gray interior than a gray interior with blue carpet, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna start today with probably installing this clock, because the car doesn't have one. I got this from a yard, as well as an RPM cluster, because the car has the cluster where the temp and the fuel gauge is on one side and then the speedo is on the opposite side. So I want to have RPM. We're gonna probably install the cluster as well, and I'm hoping in this video we're gonna drop the fuel tank and possibly mount up the fuel cell, which is kind of sitting back over there somewhere. And if you guys didn't see the last video, we have the S1 locking block installed into this RD1 CRV rear differential. It's standing upright with my custom bracket. It is completely dry. This thing is ready to rock and roll. Ooh, I can't wait to get this car to be fully all-wheel drive, because once you go all-wheel drive, you don't go back. Man, this door is fugly. Yeah, can't wait to start doing the body work on this thing as well too. The reason why I'm doing the clock as well too is because on the 8889 dashboard, this entire bezel is one piece and the clock is attached to that, and because I have it, we may as well do it. Now this is a little bit trickier than the 9091, because there are a bunch of clips and stuff you don't want to break, because if you do, this thing's gonna flop off, especially when we're launching. There are two Phillips in the back. I believe there's like 4 screws for the bezel, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom. You can kind of pull this off and like pop these clips off. You want to do it one side at a time. Be very careful. Disconnect the defrost and your dimmer. There's your bezel. We have the VSS cable in the back right here, which is not connected because I don't feel it. That's weird. And then there's 2 plugs. 1, 2, and here's our cluster. Clock's working, that's awesome. We got RPM, boys. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, this thing is dusty already. Alrighty, let's put this entire thing back together. All done, guys. All done. Clock is in, RPM gauge cluster is in, bezels in, top covers on, and all the hardware is secure. Now I don't know where the 2 little plastic cover for the back of the cluster cover is at. I don't even know if we even had it, but we're missing those. And once I put the interior back together, and if I can't find it, I'm gonna have to hit up the homie Eugene to see if he has some extra ones lying around. But for the most part, done. of gas, so shouldn't take too long to drain out. Ooh, that's a big one. All right, guys, so we have the fuel tank taken out of the car. We have the saddle J straps right here, and this is the feed that connects to the hardline that goes all the way to the front. And this already has a Walbro 450 in it, and this is a 10 gauge wire to the relay that I built for it, which is like dangling underneath the cover, underneath the car. I'm gonna have to take that, move it inside the car for the fuel cell. And this is just going to be an extra fuel tank. I already have an extra fuel tank sitting in the trunk of this car, which came out of my blue car, that we're going to be swapping into this one because we're going to be doing the multi-point EFI injection and getting rid of the whole carb setup. If you guys don't know, the EFs that come overseas, that comes carb, doesn't actually have access hole for the fuel pump on the tank itself. I was watching I believe it was like Turbo Tristan on YouTube, and he kind of showed how he, you know, converted his car to EFI. But anyways, that's a whole nother deal we're going to talk about when we get into it. Underneath the car here, I was gonna hit it with the brake cleaner, then I realized that's all fuel stuff. So right now it is all webbed up. There is another Black Widow up here somewhere, but this right here is the feed to the front. This one is the return, and this is the breather that goes to the I believe the charcoal canister. I'm gonna leave that one open. I'm gonna get some fittings ordered for the feed and the return, because we're keeping this obviously super duper budgeted with the all-wheel drive build. And instead of running AN6 all the way to the front and back like I do usually on all my cars, I'm gonna adapt to the hardline and just save money in the sense of just building the feed line and return line from right here to the tank instead of from the tank all the way to the front. I actually did the same thing on the H2B turbo all-wheel drive CRX that's sitting in the storage. I did it the same way, works perfectly fine. All these wires and everything, the relay that's going to go inside the car. But I was just thinking to myself a minute ago, and I was like, I could actually just put the differential up and install the one axle here, and then all I got to do is cup the other side. So if you look, there's already a cup in there, and I just got to cup the diff side because the axle is going to interfere with my current exhaust system. So probably do the diff, but I think that's going to be in a different video, because I want to install the fuel system and get this car to turn on and run again before I cap out this video. So I might have to carry on till tomorrow. In the community section of the channel, I posted up a poll about whether I should use the factory fuel tank in the trunk of the car or use the fuel cell that I built for the car a couple of weeks ago. And realistically, the fuel cell is still on the budget side of things, because it was like 110 bucks for the fuel cell, and then obviously you build your fuel system accordingly. In my case, I saved even more money by just using the factory hanger and modified it into the fuel cell. Let me kind of refresh you guys a little bit here. So this is the eBay fuel cell, 110, 120, give or take. And I used the factory hanger with a custom adapter that I made. And the hanger itself has been modified to put the fuel pump to sit in the sump. You guys can see it's kind of lifted right there. There's a sump right there, so the fuel pump sits in the sump, and I'm just gonna use the fuel cell because obviously I can weld this tank and make it work with the factory fill like I did in my blue car. If I use the factory fuel tank, the fill neck is all the way in the rear right here, and if I put this inside the car, the fill would actually be over there. So if I was to use this, I probably can't utilize this, and then I would have to pop the trunk to fill the gas every single time. So fuel cell is what we're going to use for the setup, and I'm probably going to continue with that tomorrow because we're going to make the bracketry to get the fuel cell to be mounted in the trunk of the car. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. Before I open the garage, guys, I want to show you little kitty cat's playpen here in the garage. I've been calling him VTech 30 times a day for the last 3 days now to see if he can pick up that might possibly be his name. But anyways, he's been jumping on the tires. He's been jumping on the tires. These tires are from my brother's G35. I did upgrade him from the brake cleaner O'Reilly's box to that one right there, which is taller and a little bit bigger. And he's actually been sleeping on this box right here and in the subwoofer box right here. So I think this is his latest sleeping spot or hiding spot, you want to call it. And he also sleeps over here. Whenever I'm sitting at my bench, he sleeps or hangs out right here. And then I open this drawer, then I open this drawer, then I open this drawer, and he jumps on to get onto my table. I leave this open at night just in case he wants to explore. He has been laying out right here as well too. So look at him, he's chilling. He's waiting for that garage to be open and he's gonna dash on out of here. But yeah, anyways, hopefully he adapts to the name VTech. I mean, it only makes sense. New cat, no name, VTech, Honda garage. You know, you ready to go outside? I can hear him purring. Can you guys hear him? Alrighty, let's get to it. Actually came by to the storage unit real quick to grab some slicks because I forgot to mention we're going racing this weekend. So I need to grab my 23s. Where are you, 23s? Where are you? That is a 24. I believe these are my 23s. So I need to grab these real quick. This is the first time I've seen these work wheels in like 4 years for my future S14. I already put some brand new tires and everything on it. Sheesh. And also really quickly, the carpet, I pulled it out and it is not even a lick of gray. But what it is though, it is a super duper duper dark blue. Now it looks darker because it is super wet right now. And once this thing dries up, I guess we're just gonna take it as it is. I'd rather take a dark blue carpet than a faded blue carpet. So at the end of the day, we'll still have a carpet in the car. So I'm gonna let this dry off for like a day or two before I put it in the car. Now let's readdress the fuel cell. So last night I was gonna order some fittings, right? And I realized I think I pointed out the wrong hard lines to you guys. Underneath the car, I said there was 3 hard lines, one for the feed, one for the return, and one for the breather that goes to the charcoal canister, which was a tiny one. But then I looked online and I forgot that on the EF, the return and the feed line is the same size. So it's 5/16. And I remembered I actually have 2 5/16 tube adapters to -6, so I didn't have to order anything online. Right here in my box of fitting, because it's nice to have extra stuff all the time. I know I ordered, here's one. The brass fitting is inside. And here's number 2. So I have 2 tube adapter. We're going to be converting the feed and return to -6. I'm really just trying to plow through this because I myself forgot that we're racing this weekend and I need to sleep super duper early because I need to drive at about 3 a.m. and currently it is 3:30. So let's go ahead and convert these lines. This tiny one right here is the breather. We're gonna leave it open because it's not connected in the front. This one right here with this big hunk of rubber is the return line. And then the feed has this like 14 mil on it that goes to the fuel pump. So this is feed, return, and breather. Let me go ahead and pop this sucker off right here. There that goes. There that goes. There's that nipple. Smooth this a little bit. Deburr this a little bit as well too. Sleeve first. Brass fitting second. AN6. Got 19 millimeter. Feed line right here converted to -6. Definitely a budget way to run a fuel cell. I'm gonna go ahead and just knock out the return line right there, and then we'll move into the trunk. Return line done. All right guys, so I went to go look at my blue car to kind of figure out where the fuel cell sat at, and I have it about 6 inches from this bracket to the end of the tank. And the reason for that is because this corner is going to line straight into the factory gas fill area. So I kind of want to keep it about the same configuration. So I made these little pedestals right here out of 1x1 square tubing, and what I did was I put a plate on the top, welded it shut with a nut welded to the back side of it for a Honda 12 mil. I was going to do the same for the bottom to make this removable from inside the floor pan, but I'm just going to weld this straight to the floor pan itself. But this right here is going to allow me to bolt the fuel cell onto, and right now I only got the 2 for the rear, so I got to build 2 for the front. But I need to put this on to tilt this even so I can measure out the back side and then make the same 2 for the front. So I'm gonna show you guys how this goes on. So it's gonna sit something like that, roughly, on all 4 corners. I'm not going to be welding all 4 sides. I think just welding 2 sides is going to be plenty. So I'm going to prep the material real quick to tack these guys into place, and then we'll figure out the fronts. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I lost a lot of daylight. The homie Anthony pulled up and he picked up the suspension for me, and we kind of just hung out for a little bit. But I spent more time I don't even know why I was doing this. I spent more time trying to fix this tip right here. If you guys remember, we got this from the storage unit, and the 10 mil bolt was stripped, and I was moving it around, and I was like, well, it was already in my hand, the welding machine is out. So I fixed the thread, welded a new nut on there, and we got the tip installed onto the sleeper muffler here. If you guys don't remember, we have a 3-inch turn down right there. The unicorn exhaust system makes it look all nice and stock on the outside. I spent a lot of time doing that, and then I just finished making the bracket for the rear, or technically the front of the fuel cells. Check this out. We have that one made, marked on the floor. This one right here is also made as well too, but this one I need to clean up all the sound deadening so we can get it down to bare metal. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this fuel cell back out, clean up those mounting points, and just fully weld all of these guys into place so we can get some paint on it. And I'm gonna say this right now, we're probably not gonna turn this fuel cell on tonight. I gonna have to wrap up in like an hour, and we still need to modify the side of the fuel cell for the filler neck for the gas cap on the outside, which is going to be about right here. So it's going to be a lot of cutting and welding still that I'm not going to be able to get to tonight, but at least mount this sucker into place and run the lines from the pump down into the hard line that goes to the front. Tazzy on the dyno with that blue wagon. You guys remember the 24 swap Dracotail 3.2s? They're on the dyno right now while I'm still working on the sedan. So I already primed these guys. I did some cast aluminum or caliper paint, but I wanted that silver, so got it all sprayed up. I'm gonna let it dry up a little bit. Fuel cell installed. I did drill out a hole in the back right there, and that's going to be for the feed and the return line. So let's go ahead and find all our fittings and build those quick. Went through my tote, all of my boxes, and I was able to find plenty of material for my feed and return, and a plug and play plug for the relay for the fuel pump. So I have PTFE 1, 2, 3, 4 straight. I only need 3, and then I needed a 90. I couldn't find one, and then I remembered this one right here was tucked all the way up there. So I have this one right here with a 90 on it. As much as I would like to keep it nylon, I'm okay with stainless. You're not really going to see it. So 90 right here is going to be coming off the hanger for the feed. So it's going to be a 90. It's going to go up, point that way, and then it's going to be a straight into the fitting underneath the car. And then for the return line, just 2 straights because it's already a straight here. So straight down, straight into the fitting. That's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and build these lines. All right, guys, where are we at? Feed, return line, built, installed. Goes through the tub right there. There is a 3-inch radiator hose going in between the lines and the chassis so it doesn't cut into the line. Zip tied, secured, and underneath the car here. I'm sure you guys can see it right there. Feed, return, secured into the hard line, and that's going to be the fuel system that's going to feed this car to make some jam. Whew. Everything is not fully tightened down because the fuel cell has to come back a couple more times to build the fill system from the factory gas cap. And underneath the fuel cell, there's a bunch of like burrs from the cut and everything that I did. So everything is just loosely on there, but to show you guys for the most part. I'm going to do the fuel pump relay later, because I really don't want to dive into taking off the back seats and everything to get to the lines and the relay to connect this guy here. Not a big deal. I've shown it plenty of times before. I'm racing against time right now, guys. I'm looking like a freaking mess. This is why I always have my beanie on. But anyways, I'm running out of time, guys. I still need to pack my stuff and clothes and stuff for the trip as well too, because I am going to be leaving at about 4 hours. So 4 hours. I don't know if I'm able to get 4 hours of sleep, because I still need to edit a video to damn, that's just sounds, my sleep schedule is messed up. But anyways, that's part of the life, guys. That is part of the life. But I'm gonna go ahead and just clean the rest of my stuff up right now, and then we're gonna cap out this video. All right, so I mentioned earlier that we're going racing this weekend, but I am not going to be racing. I'm going to be helping out some of the homies and supporting them. We are going to be returning to Bakersfield for Muffler Raceway for the second Race Wars for this year. If you guys don't remember, in June we raced Race Wars with the Blue Sedan. We took home second place in the 1150 Index, and I believe my friends are also going to be running the 1150 Index as well too. We're going to be there on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be staying out there just to run the entire event, because my buddy, this is the only track that he can hit from now to the end of the year. So we're going to try to make the best of it, try to do a PB. If you guys remember, in the Race Wars Sonoma, the purple EK broke 2 transmission, and he has a brand new transmission in it, and he wants to see what this car can do with the new power level. I'm leaving in a few hours. I got to drive up north to meet up with him. I'm going to hop in his truck, and we're going to mob down to Bakersfield. That is the game plan. But anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up for this video right here. A budget fuel cell for the budget all-wheel drive build. The fuel cell, I think, is a better option for me, because I want to use the factory gas cap, and obviously it works perfect in my blue all-wheel drive car. I kind of want to keep it that same configuration where you don't have to pop the trunk to fill up the fuel cell. So we rock with the fuel cell, $110, $120 on eBay, with a modified factory fuel hanger with an in-tank Walbro 450, and I still have to do the relay, but this is going to be supportive up to like 500-600 horsepower as far as the stock Hardline goes. But you know, this is the best way to save money instead of buying lines from front to back, although it probably wouldn't cost that much more. But this is how we're going to do it. We know it works. I hope you guys find this video helpful in a sense if you're trying to do something similar, but we're going to wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for racing, next video for you guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.